It's nice when you have a really nice camera.
Yeah, it works.
All right, go ahead, man, because this stuff was super interesting while I was watching you play.
All right, so this deck used to be a Mega Zoo deck back in like set 1.0. When 1.5 came out in set 4, it transitioned a little bit into the like McDonald's is what they call it, like the red yellow control. So it's kind of my take on both those things. For the eggs, we just run 4 Digimon. You really don't need a 5th egg because you want to see this one. You don't want to get that RNG and get the 1 egg. And you're really not evolving too much, so you're not going to run out with just 4. So we just run 4 of those. What that does is if you have 5 or more security and you're attacking, it's inheritable, you get to draw a card. So again, this is like a zoo type deck, so you don't get a lot of draws for evolve, so you need to take advantage as much as you can. For rookies, we only run 8, which is really light compared to most decks. Obviously, Salamon's probably like the best yellow rookie. When this gets deleted, if you have 3 or less, then you recover 1. So again, you're always trying to evolve on the Digimons, just attack. You'll do a damage and you potentially recover 1, so it keeps you afloat. And then Lotmon, I like Lotmon better than Pulsemon. If you have Pulsemon, you could probably run 4 Pulsemons instead. The reason I'd rather run this is because you still get the security hit, so if they're trying to stall you on 4, you can get down to 3. But again, I don't have draw, so I don't need memory the same way most decks do for Pulsemon. I rather have draw, so the draw one's more useful to me, but Pulsemon may be better. The only yellow level 4s I run... Turn around.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Let people see them.
The only level 4 I run in yellow is the Digimon. Again, I try to use the security check mechanic to my advantage, right? So I want people to hit these. I probably will cut this. Honestly, I didn't really get that much value out of it today. It wasn't that useful. When I did run into it, it would just give me an extra attack, but I'm not really evolving onto it too much or really doing anything with it. So I'd probably maybe take 2 of these out and add 2 more rookies, or take 2 out and maybe switch something around in the deck. Let me move these so you guys can see a little bit better.
That's when I started to hate Ron.
So again, yeah, if I was cutting those down to 2, this is Missimon. What he does, he's an on-play. 2 of your opponent's Digimon get -3. So this is really good early game when people are just kind of dropping, or if you're playing like a rookie rush deck or anything that goes wide, you can basically +1. It also kind of, again, it's mid-range, so you want to play this and give them not like full Mega memory. Like you don't want to leave them at 10, but you're at 3, you want to leave them at 4, so they can do something, but you also want to plus. And again, this is good because the other level 4, the other 7 drop level 5 we run is the Magnet Digimon, right? So this is like one of the best cards to see early game because like a turn 1 play, I'll often go into this because again, there's no condition for this. You can just recover automatically on it. So turn 1, I'll drop this. That gives them a lot of memory to work with, and then turn 2, right, I'll try to punish them for whatever they played. Again, it's 6,000, so it'll trade with blockers. But again, if you can evolve this, then what you're going to get is an extra +1,000 for every security. So again, a lot of times you'll go into this turn 1, you'll recover 1. If you go first, they don't attack. If you evolve this into something and then attack, your Digimon is now +2,000. So let's talk about the yellow megas that we run, that you're trying to evolve those to. 2 Seraphimon. Again, if I'm playing Magnet Digimon turn 1 and then I go into this, that's really good because they're going to recover 1. So again, now we're at 7 life potentially, right? So we're just gaining advantage because they're going to have to do so much. We're building that mountain. That gives us a nice cushion. And then also, this gets security plus check +1 when you have 3 or more security, right? So if you go into this turn 1 and then turn 2, they give you enough to go into this, you're at 3. Then you're swinging for security check +2, and you're also at 7 security, right? So you have a really good, nice cushion. I only run 2 of those because you also need to run the other 2 megas you want to get to potentially. So if you need to go aggressive early in the game, you want to go into this over Seraphimon. Again, because this card's just broken, it controls the game. If you get this out early and you're deleting something every turn, like I said, you potentially have 6 security. So you're able to use that effect a lot to keep standing him back up and attacking, so you're getting a lot of double swings. Today, if I got this early in most games, it just puts you a good landslide ahead. And then the only other yellow Digimon we run, again, the Magnet Dramon. Again, this is good because, right, if you get down to 3, right, so again, we built that mountain of life, security, right, if they get you down and you need to just saw them out, then you're going to jump back up 2, right? So this is really good because if you notice, you'll see in the deck, I run a lot of Megas, like I said earlier, so there's a lot of times if they're not jamming, they're probably crashing in and taking that hit, and their Digimon's getting deleted. So then I'm also recurring back recovery, so they're not really winning, right? They're fighting a mountain and they're falling back down. Take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So that's the yellow lineup.
This is my second time actually.
Again, the only things I'd probably change is probably cutting these out. The other cards we run, yellow we run 4 TKs. It's the best tamer in the game, right? A lot of times, if they hit this early on, you're always getting the plus starting at 3, but you're also getting to filter through your security, remove cards you may need. Again, I run only 8 rookies, so a lot of times one of those will be in security. If I get this early game, that just gives me an extra rookie to evolve and get, potentially draws off of. So you got to run 4 of this. It's important. You can't run the deck without it. I now go into red, right? So let's talk about the red cards in the deck. You run 4 red Greymon security. What this does, again, this is a champion. If they hit this in security, it gets played and unsuspended. So that's good because, right, if they attack the security and you get a free Digimon, so just like the Killamon, it's a free attack. But it's also important because we run the 4 Gaia forces, right? You can't play red, yellow. You really can't play red at all without 4 Gaia forces because, again, this thing just does so much damage to your opponent. If they run into it, a lot of Digimon right now in the meta, at least today, would end up with like security check +2 or security check +3 or 4. And if they run into this, right, then they don't get to check anything anymore, or you can pop something. So this won me a lot of games, right? So you always want to have this in your security, but if you do draw it, right, you got to have a red on the field to play it. So this will give you a red for free, so you're not wasting a summon to get one of these on the play. This will let you keep that. For that same reason, I run 2 of the tie from the starter deck. Again, the idea is that we need to have one of these 2 cards up probably to be able to just hardcast this in case you don't have removal from the yellow side of things. So you need to have one of these red things. Usually if I get one of these on the board, I won't attack with it unless I need to, just because I want to keep red up. Unless I have tie up, then it really doesn't matter. We can just throw those away. But you want to keep one of these 2 on the field the whole game, even if you have to hard cast this early in the game. And then the other red card, right, we'll get into like the Mega Zoo portion. We run 4 Volcanodramon. This card is really good in set 1.0 and early 1.5. I think it's still really good. Just because you're not always going to play top meta decks. So there's going to be a lot of people that will have, Rookie Rush. If you were playing Rookie Rush, you're going to destroy it. With this, you can bait them out with some of your bigger cards and then drop this. But it also just, it's a +1 most of the time. It's security checks +1. So a lot of times I may just drop this early in the game just so that I can super weight security, put pressure on them to respond to it. And then again, also if I have this on the board, then Gaia forces open. Back in the day, I used to run Omnimon with this, so that way you could go into Omni. So if you want to play more red and don't run some of the Megas I'm about to show you, you can throw in Omnimons, Dragonizermons, and then you can evolve that too. That used to be the play in the earlier sets. But that's the red lineup. Total of 14 red cards. And then the last stuff is all kind of just tech spots, so you can change these. You don't have to run these, but the remainder of the Megas is 2 Puppetmon, 4 Metal Seedramon. Metal Seedramon is good because the one thing that Volcanodramon can't do is it cannot get over 6K blockers, which is a lot of level 4 6K blockers, and this only kills stuff that's 4K. So if your opponent knows you're going to attack for 2, they may drop 2 of those. You can bounce both of them, and then you still have this to attack. And the Puppetmon is just a broken card. You run 2 because it's a mega.
Card's so good.
It's broken, right? And especially because we don't, a lot of times they'll try to leave you with just 11 memory or 1 memory, so you can only play 1 card. And you want to, get an extra playoff. So this guy attacks, he gains a memory, right? He can win you games on his own. And then again, this is really just to deal with the blockers. If you're playing green or blue, they're going to drop a lot of blockers, especially green. You can just bounce them off. This card also can't be blocked by a card with no Digivolution. So if they just are hard casting blockers, this doesn't care. It still attacks right through it. And then again, it's a big body, so if they're swinging into your recoveries or your security, they're hitting 10Ks. So once they have Megas, they're probably crashing or trading. So that's the deck again. It's a Mega Zoo, red yellow. Try it out.
But thanks, buddy.